One thing that I don't hear talked about that much often in my friend group is probably the addition of TF2. Sure, it was a good game, but not many of my friends play on Steam anymore, and even then, the few that do just don't seem to have time for TF2, which I can't blame them. Even me, a couple years after, I find myself doing a lot more stuff, like working, and overall just not having the time I used to while in middle school to play through TF2 with my friends and pull all-nighters. That being said though, I did try and go on it this morning. I played a few games, and although I was completely terrible, what I did notice is that I immediately got those nostalgic memories of buying crates just to get different items. Some were actually pretty rare to my surprise, and I actually thought about doing some public trades, but I knew they weren't a good idea. Even so, I just decided to play casually. I could never really be good at competitive because I knew for a fact that the people that play on there had YouTube channels with thousands of subscribers, and plus I'd just get mollywopped. And that wasn't something I wanted, given the fact that it was the first ever time playing the game in a while. The game at first was pretty chill. The only thing that I really noticed is that, yeah, there were the occasional few hackers in about 2 of the lobbies that I've actually been in, but for the most part, it wasn't all that bad. The only bad thing about it was my internet, which kept dropping from time to time, and when it did, I noticed that a random player would join the game. More specifically, in the previous 2 matches that I'd already been in. He'd join, and he'd pick medic. It wasn't unusual, it's just the fact that he would float around the map and just do whatever he wanted. He also had the habit of tending to frantically spam things in the chat. It wasn't anything bad or obscene, just nonsensical things, like phrases and other such things. At first, it could have fooled me into thinking maybe this was just some kind of bot, but at the same time, its behaviors and mannerisms seemed like a regular player. Not to mention it would also do the famous taunts as well. But after a while, I just got sick of the game and decided to finally log off. It was fun, revisiting memories and other such things. I just remember after that, getting ready to relax, watching YouTube on my laptop, and then pretty much just enjoying and going about the rest of my day. I had an hour or so before work and before my parents got back, so really I didn't have much to do aside from just watch YouTube. And that's what I did. For the most part, there was nothing interesting except for a YouTube channel. One that at first seemed like a bunch of fake prank type channels, you know, or I guess another word as well would be trolls in a way. I looked at this channel and, to my surprise, all that was really there was a bunch of just that, trolling videos, more specifically on TF2. Now my curiosity was piqued. I took a look, and although there was only about 5 or maybe 6 videos on his channel, the 6th one is what caught my eye the most. It was the most recent one, so I watched it, and I saw for a fact my account, so I knew that this could have been the same medic that was playing around in the game. He didn't do much from his perspective, literally just doing some occasional trolls and spamming in the chat. What I really noticed though that, I don't want to say unsettled me, but made me somewhat uneasy, is at the end. A bunch of cryptic words and phrases, just like he first typed in the chat in the game. The biggest thing though was the phrase that said, watch your back. The funny thing about that was, in the game, I'm pretty sure the class that I picked was that of the sniper. It was more so the irony of it that made a chill run down my spine. Now, I still had a decent while left before I had to go anywhere, so what I decided to do is skim through some of his older videos. The 5 videos were normal. As a matter of fact, his voice was even showcased in one of them. I think it was the first one, but it wasn't very good. Either way, I'm not trying to judge, I'm just saying that probably by his other standards, it wasn't his best video. But either way, I watched through it, and it's pretty good, pretty funny. I did actually get a few laughs out of it, until I got to the end. It was consistent for all the videos. Nonsensical voice lines that just didn't seem to matter at all. I then backed out and went to the homepage, only to realize that he just then uploaded one more video. I checked it out, and it was a 5-minute video of just voice lines. More so from the medic. They didn't really make sense, and they were all done in random orders. But I listened anyway, and then I got to the end. The last 15 seconds were silent, and then I heard a knock at my door. I went downstairs, I opened my door, and there itself was a first aid kit. I opened it, and there was a note inside. Anyone that's still alive has let me down. That's the last thing I remember seeing before being hit over the head. Well, that and the doctor himself.